Great to have John Aldridge with us on Independent IE, and we're just going to look ahead to the brand new Premier League season. Always an exciting time of the year, Jonathan. How do you feel looking ahead to the weekend and certainly the Community Shield game, as we have to call it now?
Yeah, it's something that I was proud to play in, to be honest. You know, playing at Wembley, it's always a great occasion. You know, I won two charity shields in '88 and '89. Yeah, and there with all my pride and joy medals upstairs, and yeah, no, it's good. I remember going to the first one I went to was Liverpool and Leeds, when it was the infamous one where Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner started fighting and both got sent off, and we went on to win on penalties. But yeah, it's a big look. It's a show started, the curtains open, and there you go. It's great that it's Palace, because I think Liverpool and Palace are both clubs and both sets of fans I've got, you know, they're very close. And yeah, Palace done brilliant to win the FA Cup. We were exceptional to win the league, and looking forward to the game and the start of the season, Kev.
What do you make of it? The summer's been unusual. We wouldn't have thought at the start of the summer you'd have 300 million sort of spent, but it's been an unusual summer for Liverpool, but they've done some great business, haven't they?
Yeah, well, it's on paper, but you know, at the end of the day, you look at the net spend over the last 7, 8 years, 9 years, we're still about sixth. We're still sixth after all the spend. And don't forget, you know, Diaz has gone for 60 million, Nunes has gone for 50 million, you know, Kwanzaa went for 35 million, Keller went for 20 million, and Talamon's gone for 15 million, and other players as well. So don't worry, the spend is still, you know, very much net. You know, it's maybe 100 million at this moment, and on what seems great players, but it won't be the end. It can't be the end, you know. The money that's come out from Liverpool and globally, it's gone mental. Liverpool Football Club. So it seems good business, and you know, Isaac, we're all waiting to see what happens there. It's a game. We all know it's a game that's getting played. It's a game of cards. Will he come to Liverpool? I hope so, but I'm more tended to worry about centre half situation. You know, we've got Joe Gomez is a super player. He just gets injured a lot, Joe, unfortunately. Konate's 1 year left of his contract. Verge has got a couple of years left of his career. It needs attending, and I think in this transfer window, it's more important than Isaac, personally. But now that Nunes has gone, yeah, we need the centre forward. You know, it's as easy as that to solidify up front, and we've got a lot of options going forward.
Isaac could be amazing, wouldn't he? I mean, he's the sort of the one striker Liverpool haven't had the last sort of 5 years, you'd say.
Yeah, because of his finishing, Kev. You know, a lot of players, you know, sloppy finishes. You know, they don't. You know, look at Haaland. He's a really good finisher, by the way. You know, he takes good proportion of his chances, and that's what we haven't had at Liverpool. We've had it all through our history, but you know, the last couple of years we relying on Mo Salah, not your centre forward. So that'll take a lot of pressure off Mo and other people needing to score. But yeah, for what's about, he's the most natural goal scorer and finisher, especially in the Premiership.
Thoughts on 150 million? I saw Jamie Carragher say
no.
He's not happy with it.
No, that won't happen.
No,
that won't happen. Look, Newcastle hold out. They're well within the rights to try and get absolutely. But when a player wants to go, you can't keep him. We've had it at Liverpool. You know, Suarez, Mascherano. You know, even Fernando Torres. We've had players. If they want to go, you have to show them the door. If they don't want to play for your respective club, there's the door. You know, the club will always go on. We'll find someone else to replace. But Newcastle have got to get the best deal for them, and they can say 150 million. Liverpool can say 100 million, but it depends where the situation is. It's got to draw a line under it. You can't keep someone who's unhappy at a club. When I was at Real Sociedad, you know, I wanted to stay. My wife wanted to come home, so for family reasons, I had to come home. And within the rights, Real Sociedad made it difficult for me, but I had to. Later on the line, I can't say on live stream, but you have to. Your family comes first, and if you got to move, you have to move. And I know plenty of players has happened before and since. So that's the dilemma Newcastle have got. Unfortunately for them, they're running out of options to get replacements. I think if they had the replacement now, he'd be at Liverpool now. So yeah, I can understand them holding out, but 150 million, Liverpool won't pay that. Not a dog chance.
We're just going to look through the teams, if that's all right. So, who's your favourite if you were going to pick one? Is it Liverpool? It looks like they've got the best signings. Maybe they're the team to beat from last year, but the others look stronger. So we'll start with Liverpool. What are your thoughts with them?
Well, happy. I'm really happy if and there's more money. Tyler Morton's just gone for 15 million, and Nunes, so that will broker hopefully the deal for Isaac, and then centre half. I don't want to name players or whatever. The lad that we've been linked with, the lad at Crystal Palace, who's a really good centre half, and 1 year left of his contract, so they're in a dilemma there. If we get just for instance, if we was to get them two, I'd be extremely happy, and it'll put us in a good position. But it doesn't automatically mean that you're going to win the league. On paper, it looks brilliant, but it doesn't automatically. You look at Chelsea over the years; they've just spent for fun and day there and everywhere and done business a different way. But it hasn't automatically, and they struggled last year, but they've gelled now, and I think Liverpool have got a great chance next year. I think Chelsea have a chance because the managers sort of knows what he wants and got the players in place. Man City will be strong, obviously. Arsenal, yeah, but they'll be strong, especially if the striker can get the goals that they didn't get last year. So I think them four, in particular, Man United can't be any worse, to be honest. Tottenham, again, can't be any worse. Newcastle, if they solve the striker problem, they've got a really good team. And then you've got the other, also Rans who play some great football and can cause problems, and you never know.
Arsenal, it's interesting. Is Arteta under pressure now? Because he's done a great job in building that club back to where they want to be, but he needs to win probably the league, really, to justify the 5 years now, doesn't he?
Well, you got to win cups, haven't you? Yeah, I think, is he under pressure? Yeah, I think so. But are they happy to get in the Champions League every year and win a cup? Possibly. And you've got to give him credit he was struggling big time when he took over. And don't forget that the Arsenal fans were crying for him to get out. And luckily enough, the hierarchy stood with him for the sake of the fans. And he's done pretty well. But I think you've got to go that little bit further now, haven't you? We all want to win trophies. And you still better do that.
Man United, I mean, we say it can't get any worse, but it doesn't feel like it's going to get that much better that quickly, does it? That's the bigger issue.
Well, wait and see. Yeah, I think they'll certainly be better. They'll certainly be better. They bought a few decent players, especially going forward. They've wasted a lot of money. Players they've got rid of now. Geez, the money they bought them and for what they've gone out. And you look at the Rashford saga, that's absolutely nuts. Any club on any given day would have the Rashford of normal. He's such a fantastic player, but he's lost whatever he's lost. So yeah, they'd be better. I don't know whether they'll be knocking on the door for the Champions League, but they've got nothing in Europe to worry about, which they can set their sights and really scrutinise, be doing well in the league. They've got no nothing to put them off. They can blink it for the league and see how far up they get.
It seems like when players go to Man United, they get worse almost rather than better. There's something wrong at that club, and there has been. That's what they need to fix, isn't it?
Yeah, well, when you've got your owner comes in and then he's sacking loyal fans who work for the club, and then he's taking money out of the ex-players who need looking after, then there's always going to be a problem for me. His heart's not right. Doesn't seem to be in the right place for one, for the club. He's just so-called Man United fan as well. And Gary Neville's got to intervene and just say, well, the ex-players, why don't you put a function on every year and raise 60, 70,000 pounds, which is brilliant from Gary. He's right. But he's not thought about it. Come on. It's not all about money. It's football. It means so much to the community, to the fans, to everyone. It's not just about saving money. And I can't understand. Have you got someone running a club like that? Heartless? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he can take them. He'd make more money for himself. That's for sure. And see where he goes. You know, he's trying to get taxpayers' money to build a new ground, which is that's embarrassing, to be fair. But look, it's a massive club. It's been a great club over the years, but it's lost its way massively.
One interesting one for me is Everton. They're moving to a new stadium. I saw Moyes the other day saying he can't get the signings he wants. Are they? Would it be a concern that they might struggle in that new stadium this season?
For me, knowing Goodison and Evertonians and Everton growing open now, Goodison Park had a massive factor in getting Everton where they were. Liverpool people are passionate. You know, you see it at Anfield. Goodison's passionate. They're on top of you. You go in there, it's so intimidating at times, and it's kept them in the league a few times. So they're taking that away. Now, if I'm a player going into Goodison Park, and they're on top of you as they can be, you're very intimidated. You're thinking, "Ooh, I don't quite fancy this, maybe." But if you walk out on this beautiful, beautiful, fantastic stadium on the banks of the beautiful River Mersey, you go out and you go, "Wow, I fancy this. I'll have a little go with this. This is the bollocks, by the way." So they might lose a bit of that. They might lose a bit of the fear factor of Goodison Park. But you've got to move on. They have to move on money wise. That's what it's all about. And yeah, I think they'll be all right. David Moyes is, Dave, it says what it says on the tin with Dave. And they'll have a good time, I think. But I don't know how much they can afford, but they're having a go. They're trying to bring in some decent players at the moment, three decent players, which will only enhance. But they need goals. They need a striker. That's one thing. Calvert-Lewin looks, he's gone in or whatever. He's nearly gone, and he was always injured anyway. That's the problem. Beto, whether Beto can get them 20 goals, I very much doubt it. But that's what they need to take them to the next stage.
Top scorer this season, we probably wouldn't have gone for Salah. We'd have gone for Haaland this time last year. So where are we looking at this year, do you think?
Well, he's going to be up there, Haaland, isn't he? He'll be up there. Mo will be up there. Depends where Isaac's playing, doesn't it? If he does come to Liverpool, he'll have a really good chance of maybe getting that golden boot. But look, you never know what the lad's going to do at Arsenal. They've all got good. Chelsea's got decent strikers. But yeah, no, just watch the space on that one, because if Isaac goes to Liverpool, it could be a shootout between him and Haaland.
Yeah, we spoke last week about the young lad Rio at Liverpool, and I think this week there's been a lot of hype around him. Is he someone you think could be a wild card this season?
Yeah. He's only 16. You don't want to get carried away. You don't want to put too much pressure on his shoulders. But when Diaz went, I was a little bit shocked. But I understand now. The manager's seen this lad. I've watched him, but I didn't realise how good he was. And the manager knows you can't stop his growth. And he's got Gakpo, who's really good on the left-hand side. And he's got this lad. And Ekatiki might be able to play there as well. So he's got plenty of backup. So that's the reason why Diaz, and he wanted to go, to be fair anyway, has left. And this lad will get plenty of game time. But he's got to be nurtured in the right direction because of his age. And the manager knows that. Yeah. But he's exciting, to say the least.
Just a final prediction, a top 4 for the season. I mean, we could do top 5, I think, now, but let's do top 4.
I'll just go to 4 that I just said.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea. I think, it wasn't far from the truth last year, I think. I nearly got it right, didn't I, Kev? I can't remember. But yeah, I think, it's going to take a lot for Tottenham, Man United, or anyone else, Newcastle, to break in there, personally. But things happen in football.
And you put them in that order? Liverpool 1?
I don't like saying that. I don't want to jinx it, Kev. Look, it's if he was to ask me next week, and I know if we've gone and got Isaac and a centre half, then I'd be very more optimistic. But as it stands now, we'll be in the shake-up. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, just finally, Man City. Actually, we haven't really spoken about them. It was a strange season. None of us saw it coming. But are you expecting them to be much better this year? Because they've been kind of
Well,
building
no.
since
Are they going to
January.
get? Are they going to get charged? I'm still waiting to see what this
Oh,
115 charges. You know, they're saying they're not going to get charged. People say they are going to get charged. Will they lose points? Well, if other clubs have lost points, which they have, what happened to Everton was a joke, by the way. If they're going to lose points, then they're out of it straight away. You know, that's the way it is. You know, but you want the matter done and dusted. And I haven't, to be fair, I haven't only read Liverpool Echo. I don't know where they're up to with these